Welcome, Pewter Report readers and listeners, to another edition, a special edition, a crossover edition of the Pewter Report Podcast, as we are joined by the special, the beautiful, the beard perfectly trimmed. Oh, not Stank. Stank, let me see. Oh, that looks pretty good. All right, actually. All right. The Loose Cannons Krewe on the Loose Cannons Podcast here. We appreciate you guys jumping on this show, man. This has been a long time coming. We've been able to be guests on your guys' show. Getting all three of you in here, I have to tell you, it is the first time that we've ever had 4 people on the Pewter Report Podcast since. Big deal, and I appreciate y'all jumping in here.
I'm honored. Absolutely honored.
Like, this is bucket list stuff for me, bro. It's Pewter Report. As Stank will tell you, I tried digging through my closet. I didn't have time. My wife's out of town. But I have hard copies still of Pewter Report, like the actual magazine.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There it is. Look at it.
Pewter Report. It's insane.
For those who don't know, Pewter Report was originally Buccaneer magazine. Yeah. This is issue number 4 from 1990 something.
I'm only 28, so I didn't even know this was a thing.
Listen, wow. You don't know thirsty for Bucs coverage like reading it. Like as soon as there was a magazine about my team and I didn't have to read it in the Tampa Tribune and the terrible St. Pete Times. God, it was a dream come true, bro. It was better than Playboy, honestly.
Thank. Were you one of the guys that flipped out when they went digital? I was like, I want my magazine, man.
But it wasn't both for a while, right?
You talking about porn? Or you talking about the Pewter Report still?
Both, bro.
Both. I wasn't alive during hard copy porn.
You missed out, dude.
I was going to say, Sammer, you're 28. I didn't even know you were that young.
Dude, Sammer is almost
a baby.
He's almost
unbelievable. 50. And to have a beard like that, 28's old enough to certainly have a beard, but like that, we're done.
Nice.
I had this beard when I was about 7 or 8, I would think.
Wow.
Confirmed.
About that.
Wow. And so you were shaving with a razor, like no question, at 8 years old.
I didn't really have much of a choice. It was either that or just walk around looking like a terrorist. Can we say that on this podcast?
I don't know. Say that. You're saying it about yourself. So
never coming back on here, dude.
But yeah, everybody has entered this podcast with the expectation that things may be a little bit wilder than usual. I think that's perfectly fine to say. We are going to talk a ton of Bucs on this show. You mentioned shaving. I got to give a shout out to my guy Christian Perez with the Tomb 45 shave gel and the hat today. I am repping. You can see it in Christian's background there. It is terrific stuff. I'm telling you. This jog, I did grab an unopened bottle because I was like, I don't know if people want to see my open bottle. I don't know if that's weird, but anyway, it's great stuff. I'm telling you, check it out. I'm sure Christian talks about it on the Loose Cannons Podcast once in a while, but it is great stuff. And we do appreciate him giving us some of these samples to check out because it has been great stuff. And my daughter was rocking the hat yesterday. It's a little big for her. I had to tighten the strap and everything. She was rocking it better than I could, though.
I don't even have a hat, by the way.
You don't have a hat?
Nope.
No hats.
Poppy Latte.
You don't know all the things that he's given out. Sammer's got a collection. I have nothing.
Wow.
With all due respect, I did design some of it, so I feel like he kind of has to give me some of that stuff. Also, you don't use it. Look at your face. You don't shave properly.
Amish half the time. What do you do?
What do you have against Amish beards, bro?
I do think every time I've been on the podcast with you guys, you've yelled at Stank for being like overexposed with his light. Because Sammer especially is very. I'm self-conscious now because I have to turn the hat around. I feel like to get my lighting, like I had shadows on my face, and I was afraid Sammer might call me out. So
better look backwards.
I was gonna say now I wanted people to see the Tomb 40. Now I don't know. I don't know, Sammer.
No. That was it back around.
Sammer. It was the great Sammer.
Flip it back around because when you flip it backwards, you look like those baseball players from high school who are now like 35 years old at the bar with the backwards baseball cap and the button down long sleeve. And they just like are constantly way too far up in your like personal space and yelling. That's what you look like when you turn a dad
sounds like
around.
A very specific personal experience story.
You're talking about professional,
all those guys.
Professional softball guy?
Yeah. Guys named Kenny and Chase. Like,
John
Tyler, get out of here, dude.
You just alienated all the Kenny, Chase, and Tylers who are watching the show right now.
Stank is in the chat and on the show. I don't think we've ever had that.
We do that all the time.
Stank is multidimensional the chat, participating.
Multidimensional, translucent, All of it.
Buccaneer Bruce wants everybody knows Sammer has the better beard.
Does not have the better beard.
Thank you.
Like, first of all, Sammer's beard is not fully natural. Let's get that out of the way. Right now.
This is real. Look.
Hey,
this is real.
Hey, Stank, confirmed. Sammer's beard is also. It's also sponsored. 25. Also,
finally, Stank not mean mugging.
He's usually doing this.
Everybody in the chat.
All right, let's talk about some Bucs. Did we talk about your favorite team? Everybody's favorite team? There's a lot I need to hear.
Let's
honestly.
do it.
I have been on guest on your show on the Loose Cannons podcast, which by the way is tremendous stuff. Bucs fans, if you are looking for more Bucs content, I'm telling you, you got to check out the Loose Cannons podcast. Most of you know this. You're here. You also will be watching and checking out the Loose Cannons podcast whenever their next episode drops. But I'm telling you, these guys, they do awesome stuff and you should check it out. But I need to know more about the genesis here. And it goes back to fans. You all have this background where you've loved the Bucs. Stank mentioned it, and he was talking about how like he has a Buccaneer magazine and all that. And so I'm curious here. How did this come about? We'll start with your love for the team, and then we'll kind of move more into the Loose Cannon side of things. But Christian, what about you? Like we'll go Christian, Stank, Sam, or just around there, around the horn, and just talk about how did this happen? How did you start loving the Bucs, even though they went through some tough years?
So, I grew up in a single parent home, my mom. So I gravitated towards basketball because it's just what my friends were doing. So I really didn't pay attention to the Bucs. But I remember working at a pizzeria and we had a tiny TV, like, the little NASCAR ones. People take the barbecues and stuff.
Yep.
And they had the game on there and it was packed. I saw the energy. And somebody wrote an article on Keyshawn Johnson in his book, Throw Me the Damn Ball. So I instantly gravitated towards that. I was like, who is that guy? Why is he being so rash and cocky, etc.? And then my true love for the team came when I met my wife. My father-in-law was a huge Bucs fan, and he passed that on to me. It was like tradition. We're watching the game. Sundays, we're not going anywhere. And then I surpassed his fandom and turned into a full-blown, like, just super, just obsessed. And then I went through the whole roller coaster, like we all do, Yeah. We lose. My whole week is crappy. I'm in a bad mood. Now I've learned to take, kind of temper that. But that's where it started. My father-in-law. I thank him for this sickness that I have that is now Bucs fever.
I think that's a fair way to say it. Yeah. Stank, do you get the Bucs fever? When did you catch it?
Lovie
Smith came back.
Yeah, I came right out of the canal. I caught it. Immediately they tried to give me all types of different medicines. Nothing cured it.
Vaccines.
I'm not nearly as old as Mark Cook. I mean, not even close to as old as Mark Cook. But I would happen to be born the same year the Bucs were. Went to my first game at 5. I actually looked it up. December 13th, 1981, against the San Diego Chargers with some obnoxious lady yelling, "Go, go, San Diego." And then, you don't know what you're watching at that age. The next year, my dad brought me to another game. It was against the Dolphins. And that's when my hatred for other teams started. I hated the Dolphins because the stadium was packed with Dolphins fans. Not a whole lot's changed. But ever since then, I've just been an addict. And I grew up, my parents had a business in the old Tampa Bay Mall. My dad did business with Doug Williams, and I got to hang out with some of the players early on.
Nice.
And just followed them ever since to now.
And Sammer, you're obviously much younger than these guys, much younger. But just curious how that came about for you, because you're 28, so you're younger than me. So you've been.
I'm not actually 28.
Come on,
he's not 28.
Clearly, you are 28.
He's not 28.
You are 28. You're clearly
at heart, I am 12. In reality, as it relates to the Mayan calendar, I am 36.
No. I know you're trying to be humble. Calendar? This is just you trying to be humble and trying to be.
It's true. I mean, I am the best at being humble. So it's sometimes difficult to relate to me and talk to me. I get it, but
Sammer, it's like John. Listen, it's like Jake Arian says all the time. He doesn't have pores. I mean, look at him; he's beautiful.
Oh, I see it.
It's easy to misunderstand or to get tricked into thinking he's 28 or less, but he's no.
I don't
listen.
I don't think it's a trick, but. Anyway,
earlier in the week, somebody nicknamed me Buccaneers Xerxes, and I really like it. I really like it, and he's beautiful too. If you've watched the movie, he's covered in baby oil the entire film.
Oh my God.
Like the entire 2.5 hours of 300 is that man just bronzed up and covered in baby oil. Anyway, how did I become a Bucs fan?
Yes.
Honestly, I was in 5th grade, and they hired Tony Dungy, and my dad used to always watch football. I really didn't care for it. I was young, and then one day he sat me down. And he's like, "Hey, they just hired a new coach, Tony Dungy." So I'm watching it, and the Bucs are on TV, and I was kind of okay, kind of into it. And then the next offseason is when they were going to debut the new uniforms, and they put out this like coloring contest for kids to fill out and design their own uniforms, and then submit them to the Bucs. Obviously, they didn't take the ideas, into consideration. But I remember I did all that, and then I started to get into the team, and then I couldn't wait for them to release the actual uniforms, and they did, and they went 10-6, and I fell in love with Warwick Dunn, and then I found out about Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks, and ever since then I've literally been addicted. Like I remember I was in 6th grade, and I would just constantly doodle the Buccaneers numbers, all my favorite players' numbers, all over my worksheets in class, but I would do them like to the exact jersey font, and that's kind of maybe where that uniform obsession started for me. But that's really where it started, honestly. It was the first year that Tony Dungy was hired, and I've been just obsessed with it since then. I would steal newspapers from my neighbors to read it. I would listen to 620, or back then it was 820, I think it was, or 1010, whatever it was back then. I think it was 820, and we would listen to Sandy Penner, what's his name? Big Dog, obviously, and then can't remember his name, but the godfather of that station. Honestly, I think he was better than Big Dog. But I used to listen to all of that constantly, and then it just made me. I'm just obsessed, like literally addicted to the team.
Wow. Can you confirm or deny, Sammer, that you won, but the Bucs couldn't afford you back then either for the designs?
Yeah, so it's really weird because I designed a pewter red with a slight orange trim, like uniform design when I was in 5th grade, and I never heard back from them. And I remember at that moment being very upset that they didn't give me credit. But, the naturally humble human being that I am, I said, it's all good. It'll benefit the team, because that's when they turned it around. If you remember correctly, when they debuted those uniforms, it was like a totally different, like, so
it was the uniform. You're saying they took your uniform.
I mean, it did not happen again in 2020 when I did the uniform design again, and then we won a Super Bowl. I mean, proof's in the pudding. I don't want to toot my own horn because that's not my nature. So, no.
Hey, John, I don't know, because Sammer got here late. I don't know. We forgot to mention, you may want to get a buzzer for Sammer. Like, give him a timer. When it's his turn to talk, you have to give him a time limit, or else he will continue to talk the entire time.
I'll just make a sound with my voice maybe, and I'll just cut them off. That way I'll have to handle it. But hey, I did want to make sure we mentioned we're all drinking it, so we make sure we mentioned our Celsius. What flavors y'all got? I got the tropical vibe.
For the first time, I'm trying kiwi guava for the first time, and it's really good.
Ooh, yeah, kiwi guava is a go-to. What do you have there? What's that? Apple pear?
Yeah, listen, I went with the exotic Fiji pear. And listen, for all the people who want to hear me open, ready?
Oh, listen to that sound.
So
That's how I start my mornings right there. When I get up for workout, I'm telling you, man, the fact that this has zero sugar in it and tastes as good as it does feels like a cheat code. Accelerates metabolism, burns body fat. The flavors are unbelievable. I mean, you can try all these different types of flavors, and they're all good. It's unbelievable what Celsius has been able to produce. So make sure you check out Celsius. You can go to Celsius.com, check out the flavors that you like, and you can also go to the banner ads on pewterreport.com, click through and get yourself some Celsius, because there's lots of good flavors out there just waiting for you to explore them. So make sure you check out Celsius.
I'm not saying that just to say that. Like,
no,
I was obsessed with Monsters, guys. And then I kind of try to trick myself into the sugar-free ones because they're healthier. And my wife was like, it's enough. And then she put me on the Celsius. I got Celsius in my fridge right now because that's what my wife drinks. I usually do the black coffee, but when I want a little bit of flavor, it's not going to affect me with the sugar, bad stuff.
I'm telling you, it's a game. I mean, I never drank any energy drinks, no caffeine, nothing. And Celsius just changed the game for me. They've been the first thing that I've drank, enjoyed, and stuck with. So it's been good stuff. The other
day, John, I accidentally spilled a bottle of vodka into my cup of Celsius. They went together so well. I was shocked.
Oh, I've been there. I've tried that. It is a deadly combination for sure. And I mean good. I don't mean literally deadly or
deadly.
Shout out to Tito's Vodka if y'all need sponsors.
There you go. Hit Stank up. Let him know. A. Corman says, I was never a Bucs fan until the checks came in, but love me some Loose Cannons, SR, MC, Mark Cook, and TS. Who's TS?
Trevor Sikkema?
Oh, Trevor Sikkema. He's throwing
Panthers fan. The Panthers fan.
I was going to say he's a Panthers fan. Trevor abandoned the Bucs. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if he counts. But also, I mean, this is true. I was never a Bucs fan until the checks came in. And I wouldn't know if I would refer to myself as a fan now. But although I obviously, like I've said before, if you cover the team, you want the team to win. You try to act like you don't, it's stupid. It's a lie. There's no reason to do that. Obviously, you want the team to win. So I guess in that way, you could consider me a fan. But actually, although I've always been a Steeler fan because I grew up a Steeler fan, you have other teams, right? As you're a kid, you have other teams you're rooted in and you're interested in, especially when you're younger and you don't really know like what it is to just swear off all other 31 teams and just focus on one team. So you watch the playoffs, and especially in the NFC side of things, you're looking for teams to root for. So it would always be a different team each year. You're watching the NFC side of the playoffs, you want somebody different to win. And there was definitely that 4 or 5 year stretch where the Bucs were really good with that great defense. Now, I knew every player on their team. I had all their football cards. Actually, at one point I had more. This is ridiculous because the Bucs weren't like necessarily ever the most popular team in the league. I had more Bucs football cards. And by the way, if you don't know, I have a collection of like 40,000 football cards from when I was a kid. But I have more Bucs football cards, guys, than I have any other NFL team except for the Cowboys at one point. I don't know if it's still that way, but there was a good chunk of my childhood where like that's how many I just had tons and tons of Bucs cards. And so, yeah, I was actually like, I remember in the Washington game where they screwed up the field goal or whatever at the end of the game, that defense rooting for them and cheering for them at that point in time. So that was a really, really fun team. And I was definitely cheering for them in the Super Bowl against the Raiders that year. I distinctly remember that.
John, there's so much, like the Steelers franchise has touched this franchise in a lot of different ways. Obviously Dungy, being a Steelers guy, Minnesota, but eventually came here.
Right.
But to me, the guy who changed this organization, from the beginning, Hardy Nickerson came out of that Pittsburgh organization and brought that type of mentality over here. So there's been always been some carryover, and now with Bruce Arians.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and there's the plenty of connection over the years, and now I feel like people are always like, "Oh, you're from Pittsburgh trying to tell the Bucs how to run an organization." I was like, "No, I wish the Bucs would tell Pittsburgh," because I think I know it seems funny for Bucs fans, but I think the shoe is on the other foot now. I think Pittsburgh has had a great legacy, but there's a lot of things Pittsburgh's not doing well as an organization, and they're not on the cutting edge of. And I think Bucs fans are kind of just learning this and figuring it out, maybe. But I think the Bucs are on the right side of a lot of this stuff, the sports science stuff, the analytics. The way that they've incorporated those, the way that they've incorporated numbers a little bit into what they do, being able to draft and value certain positions in the draft, like the secondary. They flooded it in the draft. That's not something Pittsburgh has really ever done. And because of that, it's been one of their weaknesses for years. I think they win at least another Super Bowl if it had been a strength of theirs. It's one of the most important positions on the field. So there's a lot of that where I'm like, man, I think the Bucs are at the pinnacle of the NFL in terms of what they are trying to do and the way they're trying to do it as an organization. I think right now the focus is on Brady and Arians and the new coaching staff, and that's great, and that should be. But I really think the way the Bucs are doing things is going to open up this window for them to be able to win long term. I know that's something that Bucs fans really haven't experienced because it's been kind of a rocky road, but I do think they're really on that type of a track, and it's exciting because obviously with Jason Licht coming in and being here now as GM for a while, that's going to be something that continues. And speaking of Jason Licht, you guys have had the opportunity to forge. What do we even call this? Like a bromance?
John, hold on 1 second though, John, because I got to correct you. On our podcast, you went there. I got to go back a little bit. I got to rewind 30 seconds real quick.
Okay.
Correction. Okay, John, because you said when you're a kid, you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And before you go swearing off all 31 other teams, you force some relationships. You kind of like the Bucs from afar. On our podcast, maybe you don't swear off all 31, but one particular team is sworn off. And I'm going to keep this PG because I'm on the Pewter Report Podcast. But it's forget the Saints, okay? That team is sworn off. Okay, Jason Licht, continue. Sorry.
I mean, yes, I agree with that. And I think that that's probably a good point to springboard into that big win that turned it around, right? We're in the playoffs and they have this
sweating. My boy's sweating from how angry he just got. I see it.
Me.
No, me.
Not you. No. Latte's sweating.
Oh, he was that amped up about the Saints and that big win, obviously, that turned everything around and kind of put all that history in the past, right? In the playoffs. I mean, that was obviously a pivotal moment for the franchise. And I think it pointed a lot to the leadership of that organization and the direction they've been going as an organization for a long time. And I think it just took that quarterback to get there. A lot of that was spearheaded by Jason Licht. Obviously, the drafting over the last 5 years has been spearheaded by Jason Licht. You guys have been able to form this. You're going back and forth on Twitter with Jason Licht, and there is going to be a wrestling match. It's going to be set up between Jason Licht and Stank. And I don't know what's in store for us in this match. I definitely have money on Jason Licht. No offense, Stank. And I think, Sammer, you probably agree with me on that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Stank. He can barely walk without falling over. And I've seen him fall over, and Latte's seen him fall over. This man is as
just
uncoordinated.
Fall over?
If you know basketball, he's basically the Luke Longley of Buccaneer fans. That's exactly what he is. I mean, there's just no balance, no coordination. I'm not sure how he gets out of bed without injuring himself.
Yeah, I'm still a pro, right? Just like Luke Longley.
Hey, Sam, you remember Dexter Jackson, the return guy that was going to be our return guy? That every time he got the ball, he would just slip and fall.
Listen, he needed better.
He was the only return guy that made me miss Tim Brown just fair catching every literal punt that came to him.
Listen, ever since Jason Licht challenged me,
to a steel cage, we should say that,
wrestling match live on Twitter. I've been thinking more so about what I'm going to wear. That's like for some reason the thing that's in my head. I think I'm going to go old school caveman leotard, like the 2 straps over the shoulder, the black one. You know. So that way,
thin straps.
Thin straps. That way, the taco meat can pop out in the front, right? And obviously, the lube up from toe to head.
What I don't understand,
get a grippy,
John, is Jace, because we love Jace. It's a little.
I love Jace too.
You're not allowed to call him that. That's me and Hammer are like, we're brothers. It's a trio, and you're just kind of on the side. I don't know why, John. He came on the show, and he's under the impression that Stank is a Ranch fan. So he's like, "This has."
I don't either. I don't know.
We're like, what?
Wait, why though? Do we know?
I don't know. I think he thinks that because I love dry rub and he's anti-dry rub, that he thinks I'm also a ranch lover, which I'd literally rather.
He has so much hate for Stank's love of dry rub that he just clumped him in to the ranch lover as well. Yeah. And just so you know, the reason you can't call him Jace, and Christian and I can. I mean, I've exchanged freaking tailors with him. Me and Jace were sharing personal things, and I sent a tailor up to, where he's vacationing. I'm not going to tell everyone where he's having his vacation right now, but I sent my tailor up there, and we've been working on putting him in to a Borat styled wrestling outfit for the match. Yep. It's really we're making sure that it showcases all of Jason's strengths, body and physically wise, obviously. But it's gonna be pretty epic. And it's totally going to be a baby oil match, and there will be a pewter paint bucket at some point.
Wow. Sponsored by Stephen Beck's baby oil.
There will be blue cheese involved as well. There will be blue cheese.
Absolutely.
Involved in the wrestling match.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah.
Wow. You got to find a purpose for it, I guess, since that and ranch are no good on wings.
Listen, and don't worry, Bucs fans. I'm not going to hurt our general manager, okay? The guy is a god, a genius.
We're not worried about it.
He's going to kill you.
What?
I appreciate you pointing that out, but we're not worried about it.
Right. I'm going to take it easy on him. Thank you. I'm going to take it easy on him.
No.
Listen, he's hitting almost 100% these days. I was a big fan of what he did in the draft this year. Absolutely. I love Jason, but I'm gonna teach him a lesson though.
On what?
Sure. Well, one of the opportunities people are going to get to interact with Jason Licht potentially at some point this year. Word on the street is he has promised to appear at one of these during these Loose Cannons travel packages. He has promised to appear at one of these away games. So I want to give you guys the opportunity to tell people a little bit about what you're doing here with loosecannonstravel.com. And if people don't know, pull up another tab take your eyes off these beautiful faces for just a second. Pull up another tab right now and check out loosecannonstravel.com. There is some awesome stuff you guys have started just recently too. Travel packages for Bucs fans. You pay a fee and you get a ton of stuff kind of included in this package at an unbelievable rate. And while you're talking about it, I'm going to pull up some of the packages here and just show people. It's gonna cover our faces for a second. I know, I apologize, people, but it's gonna be an opportunity for people to see some of the pricing that you guys have put together for these things that are really unbelievable deals. How did this come to be? Whichever one of you kind of spearheaded this, can you talk about how this plan came to be? And people can kind of just look at what it all includes: hotel stay, Friday night party, Saturday night pep rally, Sunday catered tailgate, and ticket to the game. Are you kidding me? If you get 4 people to go, you're paying just over $1,000 for all this per person. I mean, this is for the LA game, by the way. You have packages for the Rams game, for the Saints game, and the Falcons game. How did this come about?
Not the Rams game. No, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it is a Rams game.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It just kind of randomly happened. We were talking about, I don't think any of us have ever been to another stadium. I definitely haven't. Pretty sure Christian hasn't.
I haven't.
I think Stink may have. But we were talking about going on the road last year, and we couldn't go to Vegas. We couldn't go anywhere because of COVID. It kind of robbed us of that experience. And so this year we're like, why don't we figure out a way to get all these other Bucs fans that we don't know and that we do know from everywhere, even from overseas, to come with us and throw this as a massive party. And instead of doing what most people do, where it's just, get there on Saturday, go to the game on Sunday, go home Sunday night, whatever, we decided let's make this like a mini vacation, because most of the time during the season, I don't go to weddings. I don't go on vacations. I don't go on trips. I do not miss a Bucs game. I don't care if there's
barbecues.
Yeah, I don't go anywhere. That's it.
No.
It's these 3 beautiful gentlemen in front of me that I hang out with, and that's it. So we said, let's figure out a way to get this on the road with Bucs fans, and let's just take over stadiums like other fan bases have done to us. So we put together what we call a VIP package. It's 4 nights. We take care of a 4-star hotel for you. If you want 2 beds for 2 people or 2 beds for 4 people, the more that you crew up, the less you pay per person, and it includes a Friday night event with food and drinks and a party atmosphere. It could be a rooftop party, could be a booze cruise, all sorts of different options on the table. And then Saturday night, we do a pep rally, and we help raise money with a little live auction at the end of that pep rally on Saturday night for the Arians Family Foundation, which a part of every package we sell already goes to them. And also Sean Murphy Bunting and his mother's foundation that deals with helping young athletes and the parents that support them continue to support them so that they can succeed and get to the pros and make it, through the, the pitfalls that can occur as you're, growing up and getting through all that stuff. And then on Sunday, we team up with the biggest Buccaneer tailgate in that city, or the biggest opposing tailgate. So for New Orleans, they have a giant tailgate with Saints fans, and they're actually really nice people, and they raise money for a really good cause. So we join forces with them. The menu on the New Orleans tailgate.
Can I share the menu? Can I please share the menu?
Unbelievable.
Please.
Can I share
the menu for New Orleans when y'all told me over the phone.
Share the menu, because I'm a foodie, bro. I'm down 35 pounds, but I'm a foodie, okay? Listen, on the menu, you got southern seafood, golden fried catfish with boiled shrimp, served in an 8-foot pierogi. Okay?
What?
Some red potatoes and corn on the cob. Then you got some New Orleans flair. You got some jambalaya, smoked sausage, chicken, red beans and rice, and some ham, smoked sausage and turkey and ham po' boys. By the way, all of these tailgates also include a bottomless bar.
Did you just say bottomless?
I said bottomless.
He said bottomless.
Every single
whoa. Draft beer, champagne for the Ali's, of course. I mean, think Chandler's going to drink anything less? Red and white wine, soft drinks, and then for Stank, because it's his favorite drink, they have a signature infused vodka Bloody Mary. For those of you that don't know those choices, they have a cash bar for you to get whatever you want. But that's every single tailgate. Like in LA, we're joining up with the Buckaholics. In Atlanta, we're going with the Metro Bucks. Every single tailgate in our package includes unlimited food and drink. You basically could show up and enjoy the entire 4 days with us and not actually pay for anything if you don't want to. If you want to buy extra drinks at our events, you can. If you want extra food, you can. But it's already included that you're going to get to eat, you're going to get to drink, you're going to get the party. And then on Sunday, after that tailgate, you get to go in with a game ticket and watch our Bucs beat the crap out of whoever we're facing. LA, New Orleans on freaking Halloween. Halloween. We're gonna leave the stadium and go to Halloween on Bourbon Street. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Sammer, a couple people in the chat have said, "Listen, I live in LA. I have a ticket already. I live in Atlanta. I have a ticket already." Can you speak to those fans who live locally and they want to participate, but obviously they don't need the game ticket and things like that?
If you don't need the hotel because you're already in that town, simply go to our website, find the package page that you want to participate in, and fill out the payment form and just put in the notes that you don't need the hotel stay. And we'll send you a customized invoice, whether you want it to be a 3-payment invoice or a full payment. We'll send that to you without the hotel. If you already have...
Did you say payments?
Payments?
Yes, there are. You can do a 3-payment plan if you sign up. I think before July 4th, you can do it in all 3 payments. It's like $300 something a payment if you have 4 people. It's nothing. It's literally nothing, and it stretches out once a month, and you have all the way up until September 1st to get it all taken care of. Now, again, fill it out. If you already have game tickets, same thing. Hey, I don't need game tickets. I need everything else. Fill it out in the form. We'll send it. We'll take care of you. We're doing everything we can to get people out there who already live in that town and have fun. And Zachary Johnson, you are right. Stank is definitely bottomless.
I love Zach. John, does Travelocity do payments? I don't think so, man. We broke this up for you guys real easy. Little bite at a time. Stank, can you explain to people, because I know you've been chomping at the bit, bro. It's like a little wind-up toy. What's going to happen in New Orleans on that weekend, bro? What's going to happen?
First of all, it'll be a miracle if I make it to the game. And so I need as many people there to babysit me as possible. You just said bottomless bar, which every bar I've been to has been bottomless. And that's just kind of the way I live my life. But I plan to go to, a cemetery and, obviously bury Drew Brees, do a ceremony there. I need people with me to help me do a ceremony to put Drew Brees to rest forever. I'm excited about the food. That's all good. All that's good about that dumb city. Their food and that's obviously the infrastructure, but their team is just awful. I mean, we own that city. We own that team, and we're just gonna go there and put our stamp on them again because that's our stadium now. And I just can't wait to be with all these fans doing it. I can't. Halloween night in New Orleans. It's going to get freaky. I
mean, and what's so great about this deal is on top of everything, which I think the pricing is unbelievable. I don't know how y'all get all this in the pricing, and it's unbelievable what you put together for people. But you get a chance to get a signed football, or you get a signed football from Sean Murphy Bunting if you purchase a package or set up a payment plan by July 4th. You get a signed football by the interception king himself.
Thank you.
What a run in the playoffs. So, by the way, John, If you book a 2-person, you get 2 footballs. If you book 4, you get 4. It's not just 1.
4 footballs.
4 footballs.
Every single person that's in a package gets a football. So if you have a 4
balls
package,
are better than 2.
You're getting, Who doesn't like 4 balls? I love 4 balls. I'd love to have 4 balls constantly. Yeah, I mean, imagine the kind of the damage you could do if you have 4 balls.
Incredible. Amazing. Sean Murphy Bunting signed balls, especially.
Exactly.
Oh yes, incredible. Best kind.
Where are you going to find those?
Best kind. You can't find them anywhere else. So go over to loosecannonstravel.com. Get yourself one of these packages, especially if you're one of those people that's always said, I'd love to go to a Bucs away game, blah, blah, blah. This is probably the best team you're ever going to see. It's probably one of the best teams in the last, forever in the NFL. This is one of the better teams we've seen put together. Who knows if it'll meet expectations or not, but you want to be along for the ride. You want to see how this thing goes down. And so
you want to be there. Yeah. You can say you were part of the only 20-0 team in NFL history.
There you go.
Hey, we didn't get to see it last year. We didn't get to take it in. Hey, hashtag we outside. Sammer, do you want to tell them the little bit of swag stuff that's also included that you can only get on the trip? Or is that still not information we're sharing? John, we can tell you about that, John.
I don't know about this. This is
so new. Every trip we have comes with a commemorative patch for that destination. So as we do these throughout the years, you'll be able to collect hopefully all 31 other destinations. And on top of that, you also get the Loose Cannons Travel Crew patch with that as well. We have some cool sponsors that are chipping in with some awesome stuff that we're going to put in some cool swag bags when we check in. We'll have an itinerary ready for you on Friday morning check-in at the hotel. Like, we are going to take over the hotel. Like, I haven't told anybody this, but we are wrapping the elevator doors at each of these hotels with a giant Loose Cannons logo. You're not going to forget who's taking over this hotel, who's taking over this city. Like, it's about time, right? So we're going to be in a group, and the tickets are going to be clumped together throughout different sections of the stadium and close to each other so that we can be loud as a group. Just like we saw when the Arizona Cardinals did it to us a few years ago, it's time for us to do it to other people. And LA Buccaneer fans are in LA and in San Diego. They're freaking loud. They're there. You guys have heard of the legends of the Buckaholics tailgate out in California. We're joining forces with them. We're going to be out there with them. The money goes to their cause and their charity as well. So this is an awesome opportunity. I know it sounds like we're trying to sell you guys on this, but this is one of the I'm in Sarasota. I know like maybe 2 Bucs fans. Right. And I've been here basically my whole life to be able to meet other Bucs fans, people that we haven't gotten to meet before, people who maybe watch the show, don't watch the show, coming from there's some people coming from the UK to the LA game. Like, that's crazy. All you got to do is take care of getting
West Virginia. We have people coming from all over the place.
You get to hang out with us. We, just hanging out with me is ridiculous, right? You guys can attest to that. It's awesome, right? I mean, I can say it. But
you're humble. You wouldn't say it about yourself because you're so humble, but these guys might say it about
But listen, last time the LA Buckaholics had a party, Warren Sapp showed up at a freaking mansion on a pool.
And we all know how much Warren Sapp loves Sammer.
And he loves me, exactly.
Oh, yeah, he's a big fan of you.
Huge fan of mine. Mm-hmm. So, hopefully
these guys are going to show up, though. That's going to happen. Like, these kind of events don't go down without attracting attention of those types of people. That's what happens in these cities. So it is an unbelievable opportunity at Loose Cannons Travel.
LA is the trip that Jason Licht said, find the wing joint without dry rub or wrench. I'm just saying, guys.
He said he's going to drop in on one of these. I think it's going to happen.
You want to have some brewskis with the best GM in the league? I'm just saying.
Look,
I've already contacted the wing joint in the bar. I've paid ahead of time for all of the wrench to be thrown out. Okay. To be thrown out completely. There will be no ranch at any of these parties, just so you guys know. So if you absolutely need to have ranch, bring it in some sort of unmarked container. Keep it in your coat. I don't want to see it.
When you're drinking a beer at like 2 p.m, put it in that brown paper bag.
A koozie.
Yeah, a ranch koozie.
Here's what I don't. Why do you need a dip for wings? Like I've never.
No, we respect.
No. It's not a need. It's
just a want.
John. It's an added little bonus, but
doesn't it take away from the flavor of a wing? I've seen your wings, Sam. I've seen they look unbelievable. Like I would not want to take anything away from that taste.
You haven't.
It's an added little bonus. It's like dipping. It's like dipping. In any other type of sauce for any other food. It's just an added little bonus. It enhances the flavor. That's why you don't dip it in ranch because ranch ruins your wing. Blue cheese enhances 100%. Any wing.
Let me ask you a question, John. You ever had a roast beef sandwich? It's good, but the au jus good too. Just a little jus. That's
true. I would say that's not very. I wouldn't even say that it wouldn't be my top choice without the sauce like that. But wings, I feel like I wouldn't say that about. Like I just genuinely love wings, and I wouldn't dip them in anything.
You're a purist, and
I'm a purist.
We respect that.
Hey, Bruce Arians is a purist. We can rock with it, bro.
Right. Yeah, he's a non-dipper too.
50% of the time we eat our wings without blue cheese. It's just if we wanted to dip them.
Want it. All right. We're on the same page here. Okay. All right. Here's something I got to figure out. I got to learn this from you guys. Last week on the podcast, you may have heard it caused an uproar in the Bucs community a little bit, and you guys are pretty down into the Bucs community, so you probably heard. Mark and I ranked our top 10 Bucs of all time. I watch a lot of football, and ever since I was a little kid, I've watched a lot of the history of football. Even though I'm only 31.
Stank's about that.
That's my real age, by the way. Stank, I know you're probably going to be most offended by this, but I know a lot about the history of the game compared to other people that are younger that are just like, oh, I've watched since I was born. And so I'm very aware of older players. I'm aware of records, things like that, okay? So Mark and I are ranking our top 10 Bucs. I happen to rank one Leroy Selman a little bit lower than Mark would. I ranked him behind 6 of what I consider 6 Hall of Fame caliber talents. That's how I consider them. And I include Leroy Selman at 7 in that. But I said he was the 7th best Buck of all time.
This is almost worse than Lynch.
I'll start with Christian again and work my way around. But I would just like in 30 seconds or so, like if you can fit your outrage into 30 seconds or so. Well, actually, let's go longer than 30 seconds. You can feel free to respond to my ranking of Leroy Selman negatively if you'd like, because I know people in the chat have and probably will again now. But also can you give me like in bullet point, real quick fashion, your top 5 Bucs of all time from 5 to 1. We'll start with Christian, go to Stank, finish out with the Beard Wonder.
I'm going to let you get away with it because you've taken enough of a lashing, and you're going to get it from Stank in a second. So
that's right.
I'm going to hit you with the disappointed. We're all parents here, John. Look, I'm disappointed in you, John. You made some bad choices.
I picked 6 good players ahead of him, though.
Like, good, but
I really did.
Mr. Buccaneer. I'm gonna leave it there. Let's.
Okay.
5 from me.
5.
Scotty Miller. I'm kidding.
Whoa, you took my number 1, bro.
I knew what he was gonna say.
I'm kidding. So listen. In my opinion,
Matt Gay.
5 is Mike Evans. I mean, the way he started his career consistently with the inconsistent quarterback play, what he's done. I mean, you said it last week. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer at this point.
Yeah.
It's not even a question.
Yep.
Best offensive player in Bucs history, in my opinion, Mike Evans, number 5. Number 4, Rondé Barber. Redefined an entire position, created one. I mean, players now are making money because of what he's done as far as playing the slot, blitzing off the edge. just a different cat. Mr. 2020, Mr. 2020. It's a shame he's not in the well, how is he not in the Hall of Fame?
He doesn't have me presenting him.
Because Scott Reynolds isn't presenting him. That's why.
Or me.
Listen, hot take. He deserved to be in there over Lynch.
Oh, he did. That's not a hot take to me. Yeah, for sure.
Lynch is not a Hall of Famer, guys, just so you know.
Number 3, Sapp, because I can't list him any higher than that because he's not my boy Sammer. Sammer's my brother, so take that.
Love
Brooks,
that, man.
Brooks is amazing. I mean, it's Derek Brooks. Who's your favorite player, Mr. Derek? It's Derek Brooks, man. He also redefined a position, in my opinion, because when he came in, it was like, yo, you're like a safety. You're too light to play linebacker. And he came in, it was like the fastest linebacker. It's just insane. It's Derek Brooks. And number 1 is Mr. Buccaneer, bro. Leroy Selman. What is wrong with you, John? I'm like, one more time. I'm disappointed in you. Thank God.
I will say this before Stank goes. There's clearly like downpouring outside of my house right now. If you can hear the raindrops hitting the window.
Same here.
There is, as there always is in Tampa Bay. I've learned through my 7 months here, it is a very good chance that one or all of us lose power at some point. So just wanted to make fans aware of that in case they couldn't hear it. Stank, go ahead.
I mean, John, it is lightning season, is it not?
Yes, it is.
I completely failed this assignment because I thought it was list your favorite, like my favorites.
Okay, go ahead. List your favorites. We're just gonna take your list, clip it, we're gonna put it on social media, and we're gonna say these are the
Matt
Gay didn't pay attention and didn't come prepared, huh?
Wow.
Sounds so unlike
Scotty
you, man.
Miller. Wow. I had Scotty Miller on here twice. Weird. No, anyways, Warren Sapp. I'm gonna start with 1. I'm not gonna do like Sam or Christian, which is like tease my number 1. My number 1 is Warren Sapp, specifically because he doesn't like Sammer. He used to be 2, but as soon as he told Sammer to GF yourself, I was like,
immediately sliding him up.
Who says that to Sammer, the great Sammer?
And what was so funny about that conversation, if you know Warren, it's like whatever, but the funniest thing is that you were so like non-confrontational with him. I felt like it was just like
I made a
pleasant
joke.
Yeah,
I made a joke, and he was just like, I don't know if I don't know if he just gotten in an argument with a prostitute or what it was, but he was just not happy that day. So he took it completely out on me. I don't know if he couldn't get the prostitute to get off his fishing boat. Something happened. And he got extremely unhappy, and he just took it out on me. And I was like, you know what, man? No one talks to me like that. You're not coming on this podcast.
All right.
So now he's
Scotty Miller, Stag, please. Say it, bro. Oh my God.
Well, number 2 on my list is Doug Williams. I grew up with the guy, I had a personal relationship with him. To me, he's the best Bucs quarterback of all time.
Name drop.
Outside of Tom Brady now, but the only franchise quarterback this team has ever really had. Rondé Barber, number 3. You can't argue it. Made the biggest play at the biggest time in the history of the team. This guy still doesn't get enough credit. I think he redefined the position. Rondé Barber. Mike Allstott.
You're so wrong right now.
Like I said, this is my favorite. It's not the best.
We are going to clip this. We're clipping this and putting it on social media. Though,
you can put it in
his top 5 Bucs.
This is my top 5
Mike
favorite.
Allstott. Mike
Allstott is one of my top 5 favorite Bucs of all time. Not that he's the top 5 best Buck. He's in my favorite list of Bucs.
Okay,
all time.
You're not allowed to talk. We're just
I'm finishing my list. I'm finishing my list. And number 5 is.
Wait, you have Mike Allstott higher than somebody else? There's still someone else. Oh,
he was last? Oh, wow.
I thought that was 5.
This isn't a top 25, right?
No, I've only named 5. Scotty Miller doesn't count. He wasn't actually on my list. And then number 5 for me, Levante David. Obviously, one of the greatest players of all time. I think the guy is special. I think he's a Hall of Famer. So that's my top 5 favorite, not the top 5 best Bucs of all time. Clearly, I left Derek Brooks off of there, so the list is invalid if you don't have him on there. But these are my top 5 favorites.
All right. Different flavor for it. I like it. I appreciate it. What do you got, Sammer?
So it's a little difficult for me, right? Because I like Doug Williams, and I understand the history of Doug Williams. Like Stank said, really the only franchise quarterback we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to rank Jameis because he's obviously everyone's favorite quarterback, right? Joking. So right now, I would say Leroy's. So I didn't grow up watching Leroy Selman. I understand he's a Hall of Famer, and I totally respect everything about Leroy. So Leroy has to be my number 5. Right?
Okay, all right.
He has to be number 5.
It's the closest anybody's come to number 7, by the way. I appreciate you trying to make me feel a little bit better there.
No, he should not be outside of your top 5. Like, this is the bare minimum. I'm giving him the bare minimum only because maybe I didn't understand the impact that he had because I didn't watch it. So, I've only seen clips.
I respect that.
Yeah. So, and then above him, man, this is going to be kind of crazy, but I would put Mike Evans. Mike Evans would be at number 4 because he is. Yeah. In all the years I've watched football, Buccaneer football, he's the best offensive weapon we have ever had. And it's not even close. And like people, work done. Oh, you had Keyshawn Johnson. No, it's not even close. It's not even close. No. Right. And then number 3, and he was number 2, but now he's number 3 because of recent incidents. Warren Sapp, because he would single-handedly just destroy teams and win games, which is insane to think about from a defensive tackle position. He would affect games like a quarterback. It was crazy. And the stuff he would do with Brett Favre and the jawing. And I mean, seeing him go up to the Packers head coach after
Brett Favre
that game.
Again. Say Brett Favre again.
Brett Favre. And so all of the stuff that came with Warren Sapp, I loved him on the field, and I just can't put him any lower than number 3. And then at number 2, it's really tight because I don't know why, but I have this I love Rondé Barber. Something about his story, the way he came in and he just worked his way to what I consider legendary. And then obviously what he did, the single greatest play in Buccaneers history. Rondé Barber is number 2. And there's a reason he's behind me on the wall here. And obviously he's kind of like my best friend too. I met him the other day. Anyway, so number 2, and then number 1, Derek Brooks, just the perfect professional in every aspect of it, off the field, on the field, in the locker room, behind the microphone. He's the greatest Buccaneer of all time. And I know that's going to piss people off that it's not Leroy Selman, but the greatest Buccaneer of all time is Derek Brooks. And it's not even close. And I think he's even been robbed of a couple of defensive player of the year awards. But I mean, what he did that Super Bowl year, I don't think I've ever seen a linebacker do anything like that. The number of touchdowns he scored, just all of it. I mean, and 1A, I'll put one more up top.
Buzzer.
No, give me 1A. I need to hear this now because I want to. Yes, I want to know if it's going to make me feel better about my list.
Did you say Chris Conti?
No. What?
Chris Baker.
No,
Savvy Piscatelli?
No. Gerald McCoy. Come on, my favorite Buccaneer.
Gerald.
Of all time.
No way.
You're lying.
He's
no, dude. I hate Gerald McCoy. I'm happy that man's gone. Get out of here. No,
how can you hate that man? I love Gerald.
I love that.
It's just you versus Bucs defensive tackles. I think that's the thing. Like Sammer.
No, I'm okay being hated by a Hall of Famer. I'm not okay, being hated by some guy who's just some dude.
Wow.
How many times can you rip your bicep?
Let me ask you guys this though. Levante David for me was number 4 on my list. Okay, I had him ahead of guys. I had Levante ahead of Selman, and I had Levante ahead of nobody else that you named other than Allstott. Obviously, he's obviously ahead of Allstott. So, would you say is Levante David at 6? Is that like Mark Cook had him out of the top 11? He had him 12th.
No.
I don't know how you can do that. I mean, I think he's just been a special player.
I mean, he's produced in every single defense that he's been in.
Yeah. Elite coverage, elite blitzer, great run defense. I mean, there's nothing to say.
I love when they posted that article or something like that on Travis Kelce, like uncoverable, and people were using the meme of Levante that excuse me.
It's funny. He finally gets that respect, but he's been honestly playing it at that level or better throughout his entire career than he was last season.
He'd be number 7 for me, man. He'd be number 7 because I put Simeon Rice at 6, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, Mark had like Mike Allstott and James Wilder ahead of him, and like I just couldn't get there.
By the way, thank you, John, for your when you touched on Simeon in that episode, because my God, just nationally, just disrespected, man.
How do we not? We don't even talk about him for the Hall of Fame. Every time I talk about it, gets me riled up.
It's longevity with him. That's the reason he doesn't get talked about like he should.
Well, for the Bucs, I get that, but for his NFL career, he played like 12 seasons. I mean, it was.
And you guys touched on his sacks, the way he batted the ball down, his interceptions. One thing you guys didn't touch on is I almost expected a strip fumble. He was
19 and like 5 seasons with the Bucs. Yeah,
nuts.
What always stood out to me about Simeon is it's just like he never forgot his routine from Pop Warner. He'd always be on his knees before he got into his stance, just like you teach a little kid on the defensive line from being young. that guy was a freak in nature, man. It's cat-like quickness off the edge.
Yeah. And imagine if he played in today's game. I mean, if he even 10 years later, I mean, it's obviously he played at, at a time where, it was run defense, which he was never an elite run defender. I get it. But like that was coming out of a little bit out of, popularity, and then pass rush was becoming more prominent. But really, if he'd have played even 10 years later, his athleticism, his length, I mean, I think we'd be talking about his defensive player of the year on a regular basis.
Dude, what he did when they faced Mike Vick.
Yeah.
That alone, just look at that tape that he had from I think it was 4 different games against Mike Vick. That should put him in the Hall of Fame. The stuff that he did, chasing that man around, understanding gap integrity, and making sure he didn't create a lane. The entire Bucs defense played Mike Vick ridiculously, but what he did against Mike Vick and how he would show up, and he wasn't that big of a human being. He was tall, he was long, but he wasn't like JPP had. You could see JPP's got some muscle to him. Simeon, no offense to him, he really didn't for a guy in his position, and then he still produced. And when he came to Tampa Bay, he did play the run. That was one thing that he did improve on, because Sapp made him improve on it.
You're not gonna not play the run in Monty's defense.
Right.
It's like 12 guys to the ball.
Those were the old days.
11 guys to the ball.
12
with the swag, man. I miss,
bro, the 12th man.
I miss in between TV timeouts. Sapp bouncing around, and my favorite was Simeon Rice playing the air guitar. It was like, oh man, he is hyped up, bro. He's about to go murder somebody.
Swagger.
John, if you take Derek out of that defense, that Dungy defense, that Monty defense, and put Levante in,
it's the same.
Are you gonna skip a beat?
No.
I really don't think you do. I really don't know. I mean, I have Brooks as the number one. I had him number one on my list. So I mean, obviously I have him a little bit higher, so maybe, but just because Brooks' production was just so ridiculous. I mean, and he was obviously in an age where linebacker coverage was much more simplistic than it is now. So if you looked at it schematically, and I know Bucs fans probably don't want to go there, but Levante David, what he's asked to do on a regular basis for the Bucs, at least in this scheme, I can't say I've studied him every single year. I definitely know there's been years where I watched him and I was like, before I covered the Bucs, where I was like, just wow. But what in bowl scheme, I mean, he's just asked to do a ton. I mean, Devin White doesn't get asked to do the things that Levante David gets asked to do. Doesn't mean he can't do them someday, but just David's so good at it right now. Not many linebackers in the league get asked to do what he's asked to do, so that is a huge part of context that I think fans kind of look over when they're looking at production and stuff. So my short answer to you would be no, I don't think that they do miss much of a beat. But it's hard to compare eras. And Brooks' era, it was tons of zone coverage. He excelled at it. There's no doubt about it. He was probably one of the best ever in zone coverage and ball skills, just instincts. Yeah, right. He was just so sharp. And David has that too. They've had two of the best ever. They really have. And it's what's a shame is that the Brooks is the easy Hall of Famer, in my opinion. No question, no doubt about it. Was always going to happen. Levante, it should be that easy to me, to put him in. But because we've only seen, what the All Pros have been fewer and the Pro Bowls, one. Because of that, I think that we probably won't see Levante respected, post career the same way we did.
I mean, look at the defenses he's played on. He had to play under some of the worst defenses. Mike Smith's defense.
14
still produced.
14 different coverages.
I feel bad for Levante. I really do. I mean, he's getting some of the love now, man. It's awesome. If you watch the episode, by the way, if you guys haven't seen the episode with Jason Licht, our Loose Cannons episode, it's the last one we did. Check it out, because Jason talks about his favorite player, the one he felt the most happy for in winning the Super Bowl. He talks about his love for Levante. It's awesome, so genuine. You definitely got to check that out. But yeah, man, I'm glad he's finally getting some run nationally, because he's been disrespected, and the guy is just a great guy on the field and off the field, just like Brooks.
Right. All right, we got to wrap up this. Oh, go ahead.
The important thing, just one last thing on him. The important thing for Levante is he finally got a championship.
Yeah.
Because he'd never been to the playoffs, and getting that championship does help when it comes to those votes and the Hall of Fame and all that discussion that goes around it. Oh, was he a champion? If it's a no, Levante's probably never going to be a Hall of Famer. He has the ring now. Maybe now he'll get a little bit more national attention and people will remember him and think a little bit differently about him, because it's unfortunate. He's been in the league this whole time. He's only been to the playoffs one time.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. And hopefully it's something that changes eventually. Obviously this year, expect that if he can, these next 2 years, if it can be special in terms of a postseason run, it will change the perception. We're right or wrong, or whether it should take that or not.
He had a pretty special Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did. And honestly, he had a really good season. I don't know whether, again, like people look over stuff like the forced fumbles, but yeah, he did. He dropped 2 picks last year. And if he catches those 2 picks, it's so dumb. This is why stat-based stuff is so dumb. If he literally just catches them, like the whole perception around is like he's, first team All-Pro, he's first team Pro Bowl. Like no question he is. But again, like that's people.
Why is Pro Bowl even
I don't know
a measure?
But I know, and we don't care about it maybe because we know it's a joke, but voters care about it, and fans, contracts matters for contracts, and fan voting is a huge part in it. It's dumb. No offense to Alex Kappa, but you're leading all guards and votes for the Pro Bowl. Like, I love Alex Kappa. I think he's a really good player, but you're the
John,
best.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, John.
People saying he's the best guard in the league. There's a better guard in
Shut
his
your
own
mouth.
team.
Every offensive lineman on this team is the best at their position.
I agree.
Wait, how could he be? But who's a better guard, Ali Marpet or Alex Kappa?
They are both the best.
You got to pick one.
They're both different sides. They're different sides. Cut it out, John. What kind of name is John anyway? I'm getting mad right now. You're talking about my boy Kappa.
I've never seen Sammer's pores open up, but I think they're starting to.
Up. Hey, the dude played.
He's a good player.
He played with a broken arm.
With a broken arm,
and he tried to play with a broken leg. He's going to win elite toughness, but is he the best guard in the league?
I'd like to see you host a podcast with a broken arm, John, or a broken face. Could you do that? I bet you couldn't.
His face is broken right now.
Yep.
You would need a face. So the equivalent of a broken arm as an offensive lineman is a podcaster having a broken jaw or a broken face, right?
Yeah. Or broken vocal cords like Scott Reynolds.
Oh no, I didn't want to go there. So I don't want to go there.
We can go there.
Messed up, man. This is not.
You have the people are turning against me.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Thank you. Everybody in the chat, tell John to shut his dirty mouth. Shut your dirty mouth, John.
Wow.
By the way, people did want an update on Scott. He is doing better. I heard his voice today. It's the strongest it's been. He is hoping to be back. I think he goes on vacation next week, I want to say. But then he's hoping to be back on the show. It's been a long he's been off for almost 2 months. It'll be by the time he comes back.
I like you, John, but I miss Scott.
I miss him too. I miss him too.
Storm of the day, man. I miss Scott.
Nobody thought it would be this long. You did.
I had a dream about Scott. Yeah,
listen, I can't wait to hear about this.
He made an epic comeback. Not only did he overcome this, but he ends up becoming like one of the most famous voice actors in Hollywood. As a result, he totally leaves Pewter Report.
What if he comes back with a different voice?
No, what?
It could happen.
Heard it.
It could happen.
It could be more high pitched.
It's
a possibility when you go through these vocal
comes in with a deep baritone.
He's voice. He's doing the voice therapy. So when you do that, sometimes you have range you didn't have before, and he may, settle on like a falsetto that he never thought that he had in his repertoire, and now maybe it's his thing.
Scott, I'm gonna text you, buddy. You can work with my son. He can help you with some
Scott Usher.
I love it. I love it. I think it's great stuff. All right, gentlemen, we got to get out of here, man. This show has been a great show. We've gotten a lot of insight, and we got to even rip me for multiple things. I thought it was just going to be Leroy Selman, but it was multiple things, and that's always a good show when that happens. So I appreciate y'all again, people. Check out loosecannonstravel.com.
Look, Mom, I'm on Pewter Report Podcast.
Pewter Report is crazy.
We made it with we got on Pewter Report with the B team. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Because Scott's not here.
You're getting suspended. Suspend him.
He is. He's going to be suspended from the pod. Next time we're just bringing Christian and Stank back to the cigar.
Listen, I know we have like 2 minutes. I just got to say, guys, on behalf of the Loose Cannons on this side of the screen, me and Stank.
I'm honored to be here. I was just saying I wanted Scott to be here. That's all.
No, I know that, but like sometimes Sam says some stuff I didn't say that. This is not the B team. I
love Warren Sapp. Warren, me and you were boys, bro.
No, me and you are gonna have to have a family meeting now. Your loyalty should be to us before Warren.
Listen, appreciate y'all jumping on the show. It's great stuff. As always with you guys, check out loosecannonstravel.com and look at some of the packages these guys have put together. It's really, really good stuff. Obviously, drink your Celsius, stay hydrated, stay fresh, stay in shape, stay healthy. We'll be back tomorrow on the podcast, 4 p.m. Eastern. Matt Matera making his return to the podcast tomorrow. It's going to be good stuff. We've got Thursday, we've got Paul Atwell coming on the show. By the way, if you guys don't know Paul Atwell, make sure you watch Thursday's show. A little hidden gem in the Bucs community is about to be brought to light on Thursday. I'm very excited about Paul Atwell's appearance on the show. I think you're going to enjoy what Paul has to say. He's got some insights on the Bucs. Everybody wants to know what changed after the bye week. A lot of things have been thrown out there. This man has been studying his stuff. He has thoughts to put out there about what really changed with the Bucs after the bye week and what we can expect moving forward, perhaps even this season, hopefully even this season.
I thought it was your articles. I thought it was your articles that changed them at the halfway point.
I appreciate this acknowledgement. Yes, that there is truth, that the rumors are true. I can confirm, but I'm humble, so I'm not going to put it that way. I'm also humble.
I'll say it. We upgraded. We got rid of Sycamore and the curse. Sean came to Tampa, and we won a Super Bowl
and a Stanley Cup and almost a World Series and about to win another Stanley Cup
and another Super Bowl. I mean, listen, all I'm saying is all that happened, and I'm still getting disrespected on my own podcast by
don't talk ill of the greatest offensive lineman.
This is just hazing, man.
So you just say he's better than Marpet, and he's
all of them. All of them are the greatest offensive linemen. I said men, right? Men. You're a writer. You should know singular and plural.
Men, plural. I don't know. It sounded like singular to me.
Go Bolts, everyone. Men. You ever try to catch lightning in a bottle 4 times? Good luck.
Listen,
wait, what?
It's been a great show. It's been terrific. We appreciate you guys coming.
John's tried to end this show like 6 times.
We're not gonna let him.
Listen, next week on the podcast,
you can't eat Canadian bacon or none of that poutine crap. All right.
Next week with the podcast, we've got great guests coming on lined up for you. Ryan Griffin, Tristan Wirfs coming up on the podcast here very soon. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thanks so much for listening to another edition of the Pewter Report Podcast.
Out.
Later.